Trying to lift. Go on, lass. Go on, lass. It's on its absolute arse here. But we know where it is now. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome along to another review from us. This time we have got our hands on the new Kubota M6-131 utility series. Now this series replaces what was known as the old MGX. Now the MGX, if memory serves me correct, has been around since about 2012. So you could say it has had quite a good innings before its recent update and replacement by this new M6 utility series. Now those of you who are regular viewers to landpowertv.com may remember we actually did a first impression piece, I think it was about 2 years ago, of Kubota's new M6-002 series tractor. Now that tractor was introduced into the Kubota family as basically a higher spec and more heavier duty version of what was then the MGX series. Now, as I've already mentioned, the MGX series has turned into this M6 utility series. So basically what Kubota has got now in the M6 series as a whole is basically sort of two lines of tractors. You've got your sort of low spec, nice and simple, lever lover sort of tractor with the M6 utility, basically the M6-001. And then if you want a higher spec tractor or a slightly heavier duty tractor, you've got the M6-002 series. Now the M6 utility series that we are trying out is split into 5 models spanning 100 to 143 horsepower. There are 2 short wheelbase models with a 3.8 litre engine, and there are 3 long wheelbase models with a whopping 6.1 litre engine, but we will definitely talk more about the engine as we go on in this episode. Our particular model that we have got on test is the M6-131 with 133 horsepower and that massive 6.1 litre 4-cylinder engine. We've got a 24 by 24 speed 40k gearbox in there. At the rear she can lift 6.1 tonnes and we have a hydraulic pump capacity of 77 litres per minute. As ever, if you are watching this on one of our social media channels, unfortunately for you, this video will run out in a little bit. But as ever, to watch the full episode, go and head over to that landpowertv.com for the best experience. We've got no adverts, anything like that getting in the way. We've got all the specs there. We've got linked to the manufacturer's full specs, and it is all good. So as ever, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, and more importantly, if you can spare a bit of cash, subscribe to that there landpowertv.com. So on with the show then. Now coming up, as ever, we like to try these tractors out in various sort of situations. We are in December now of 2023, which means the ground is all wet and horrible, so it looks like we're probably going to be confined to the yard for most of this episode. But saying that though, it is a good place to try out this tractor, particularly with its manoeuvrability thanks to those portal axles, and as you can tell already, we've got the loader fitting, so we are going to be doing quite a bit of mucking out. We've got a bedder feeder machine from Cumberland as well, so we'll get it on that, we'll see what it's like on that, and in between that we'll see what else we can do as well. So all of that's coming up. As ever, stick around and we will see what we can find and what we can do. Right, ladies and gents, let's kick off this review with a bit of loader work, and the loader in question is the, well, it's Kubota's own loader. It's American made. It's called the LA2255. 22 referring to its lift capacity, so we've got 2.2 ton lift capacity and she can lift to about 4 meters. So the loader itself, it's what you could call, it's a nice sort of simple spec loader to go with this simple spec tractor. However, that said, it's still got a good couple of toys on it. You know, we've still got parallel lift on it, hydraulically controlled via a valve block underneath the right hand side of the cab. And she's still got a little bit of suspension system in there as well, which you just turn on and off via a tap. Now, loader controls are super simple, just real good, proper mechanical control. Cable from the lever down to the valve block underneath the tractor. So what you get with that is just an immediate response, especially compared to some of these fly-by wire loaders. And then as we move around the yard, I will just show you the third service control, which is a dedicated control via 2 buttons on the side of the joystick. So rather than having to press a button and then move your joystick sideways, it's got independent controls down the side, just like that. In terms of loader response, I've got to say so far, pretty good. Tear out force, as we've just seen there, I'll say that is pretty decent as well, but we'll find out a little bit more as we go on. Moving round the yard as we are doing just now, I've actually got the gearbox in high range. So we've got 3 ranges, high, medium and low, and there's 8 power shifts in each range, just either controlled via the buttons on the main gear stick or actually here on the armrest, which are a little bit closer. And with that big torquey engine, that big 6.1 litre 4-cylinder up front, you don't particularly need a lot of revs. Like I say, I'm doing all this in high range. Maybe if I was doing a bit shorter runs, I might pop it down to medium range. But as I'm darting around the yard, high range is pretty good. There we go, a bit of tear out force demonstration there, and it's not too bad. We've got 77 litres per minute hydraulic pump, gear pump at our disposal, which so far is doing the business. But it's one of them when it comes to, you know, tear out force and hydraulic response. It's, I suppose you've got to say, you kind of got to manage your kind of expectations. It's not going to set your pants on fire, but it is very, very decent.